Hello, and welcome back to Growing Up Late. I have with us today Marisa Belger, and she works with high achieving women, moms who are navigating divorce and co-parenting. And I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about what she would most like you to know about her.
Thank you so much for the intro. So you basically got it. I am a coach and sometimes I call myself a mentor. So I support mothers who are navigating the incredibly complex emotional terrain of the end of their marriage and offering them a very specific level of support as they evolve from that committed partnership into co-parenting and whatever is beyond.
Terrific. There definitely people need a lot of support with that. So I appreciate what you're doing. When in your own personal story, what version of yourself did you have to outgrow in order to become who you are today and what you're doing?
I love that question. It's such a great question. So, all of my work is, unsurprisingly, I think a lot of us are teaching and working and offering care from a place that was once really hurting. And so, for me, I am in a, I don't even know if we call it a modern family anymore because I think it's becoming more and more just part of the landscape of the different shapes of family. But I am raising my two children who have two different fathers with all of our respective partners. So there's six parents in our family system, and we are harmonious. We actually enjoy each other. We choose to spend time with each other. In fact, we will sometimes give the grandkids to grandma so we can all hang out. We are family, we are friends. And it was a very challenging journey to get here. So it wasn't just something where I snapped my fingers and we were instantly harmonious. It took an incredible amount of honestly pain and suffering, and then understanding that there really is a methodology sort of embedded in the process that I underwent, and that's really where I support women from today, if that answers the question.
Yes, it does. I mean, that's some hard-earned wisdom, right? That is the best kind. And so you describe a life that sounds amazing and what I'm sure would be an idealistic way to live for most people who are concerned that their children get the best experience growing up and that they have the best possible relations with others. How did you get from, I don't want you in, as a partner anymore to we're just one big happy. Tell me a little bit about that process if you can.
Yes, I'm happy to. This is really, I would say, the heartbeat of the work that I'm doing with women. So before I answer that, I will say that pretty much every single woman that I work with who's separating, divorcing, and embarking on co-parenting comes to me saying, I want that. I want what you have. I want to be skipping down a beach on a family vacation with my new partner and my ex's new partner and the kids at family dinners where we're all laughing and having a blast. And my true understanding and belief system that I don't waver from is that it is absolutely impossible to get to that place without first dismantling the old structures and the old paradigm of the relationship that didn't work for you. So you first have
Mhm.
to really let go of a lot of the old ways of interfacing with each other and begin. I'm trying to avoid using the word the metaphor burn down because I live in California and I don't think that's great, but it really is. It's a burning down of an old way and then making room for something new to be born, a new relationship. And then the second piece of that is that friendship isn't guaranteed. It's not a guarantee. It's something that if you're very fortunate and you put in the work, which really looks like, I'll just tease this a little bit and you can tell me if you
Sure.
want to know more. It really looks like both parties being willing to take full personal responsibility for their sides of the street, really owning who they are and who they were, and building a new kind of trust and respect and care from that place.
I love
Yeah.
that. That is a perfect fit for the people that I speak to because it is all about personal accountability. And you can only be responsible for your behavior and your actions. So you can't do this alone if your partner that you're separating from romantically is not on board with this. It's got to be really challenging.
Yeah, and I'm happy you brought that up because that is also it's a very, very real factor. I do believe that part of what's happening in my family system, a bit of it is luck, luck that every party was willing to go on this journey and to take accountability, right? And responsibility, but or and I like to say, and there are situations where one member of that co-parenting team really does not want to engage at that level, does not want to do that kind of inquiry, really rigorous personal work that it requires to build something new that I'm talking about, to create
Yeah.
something new based on trust.
Do
Yeah.
you have any helpful suggestions that maybe someone who really wants the kind of relationship you describe and would love and be willing to do this work, if they have a partner that's a little less enthused, is there anything that's worked for you historically to kind of get them over the line to get on board with submitting to the process and moving forward together in this?
From my experience personally, a lot of, 10,000 hours plus plus, I like to say, like in the field of dismantling romantic relationships and birthing them into something new, and then probably as many hours more with clients who are in all sorts of different scenarios. My understanding is that you can't make anybody else do anything that they're not willing, that they don't have the willingness, the capacity, the interest, the desire to do. So recognizing when you're hitting that wall with your ex or with your co-parent and then choosing to redirect that energy that you're expending trying to get him or her to do something differently back into your own ecosystem to try to water and sunlight, give water and sunlight to your own garden so you can be the most vital version of yourself for your kids, for your work, for the world. And then maybe, and we live in the realm of maybe, the realm of the mystery. We don't know. Maybe
Hmm.
your ex will be inspired, will feel that collective sort of consciousness of healing that you're doing and move towards that, attune towards that.
I would imagine that lead by example a little bit, that
Yeah.
would be attractive to them. Like this looks good. Maybe it's worth a shot.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
appreciate your honesty about that too, that you can offer to people, but that's about it. Make it available. So you said you were teasing out your process a little bit. Do you want to get a little more into detail about what that might look like?
Sure. Yeah. The process. I wish it was as easy as, you know, go move through steps 1 through 10 and you'll be healed and reborn and the happiest co-parents on earth. We both know that's not true. And there are steps that you can take to really begin to discover yourself in a new way and to move out of the toxicity. And most marriages that end have a level of toxicity in
Mhm.
them. I mean, you have to think about you're choosing not to continue to build a life in that way with someone. Things must have been pretty hard to get to that
Yes,
place.
agreed.
So my methodology, loosely held, but then also firmly held, because I do believe you can't skip any of these steps. It's just they don't have to be in any particular order. You must grieve you must grieve the end of the dream of the marriage, of the shape of the family that you thought you were going to have,
Hmm.
of the older age you thought you were going to have, of the life you thought your kids were going to have. There's a lot of grief in there. And so consciously giving yourself time and space to really grieve that is an essential foundational step for being able to move forward. Yeah. So that's number one. Another key step is acceptance. It's a really, for me, unavoidable part of the process, accepting, which could be wrapped up in the grief too. They all feed each other, which is
Sure.
accepting this is where I am now. It's not what I wanted. It's not what I thought was going to happen as a little girl. It's not what my parents want. It's not what the people who are judging me want. But this is what it is.
Yeah. Reality is called reality for a reason, right? And it's if you avoid it, there's no growth. There's no opportunity for growth.
100%. There's no opportunity for growth and there's suffering. So when we
Hmm.
resist reality, when we resist what is, we suffer. And it's a hard word, but to me it is the word. It is painful.
Oh, it sounds true. Without going into my own story too much, the end of my marriage definitely went through a grieving process and then an assessment. Okay, so here we are. What
Mm,
next? Right?
mhm. Yes, 100%. So important. It's just none of these steps can be skipped, I don't think. And there's a few more. I can rattle them off a little quicker. So we have grief, we have acceptance, self-forgiveness,
Mm.
a lot of forgiveness for the self. Just offering yourself and wrapped into that forgiveness is a level of compassion and tenderness and understanding for yourself that you've probably never given yourself at a level that is probably beyond anything you've really ever actually done. So I try to stay away from like self-love. We hear self-love all day long on
Mhm.
Instagram. But what does it really mean? To turn toward yourself and befriend yourself, to offer yourself a level, right, of tenderness,
That is a beautiful metaphor or beautiful analogy of what that should look like. Much, much deeper than just self-love.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So important. And I always say I work with mothers primarily because I just think that their experience is so unique and so layered, as their family structure is dismantling and restructuring from that bottom up.
Mm.
I remind mothers that if they're struggling, and most women do struggle, at least in the beginning, to access that that feeling of compassion for themselves,
Hmm.
that it's like this little hand on the shoulder, you little squeeze on your shoulder, like I got you. It makes sense that this is really hard right now, right? If you're struggling to access that, all you have to do is evoke the love you feel for your children. You just evoke it. So you
Mm.
like wake it up in your heart. All you have to do is just see their little faces or their big faces. You just see their face and you're like, ah, okay, that's the frequency of love. So if I'm lost and I can't find how to give that to myself, that's like a remembering of what it feels like. And then from there, you can begin to practice offering it to yourself.
Yeah, that's a powerful way to put someone in that state because you can feel it immediately. Your heart softens when you think about looking into the eyes of your children, that love and compassion you have. That's
Exactly.
wonderful.
Yeah. So those are a few examples. I could go on.
That's
Yeah.
great. I love it. One of the things I think when I was reading some information about the theme of becoming, why do you think that so many women wake up in midlife and suddenly fail to fully recognize themselves? And why do they stay stuck before that? How does that come about?
Oh, yeah, another one of my favorite subjects. So there was there were several amazing questions in there, but I will choose one of them first and just say it is pretty remarkable, and I'm very inspired to spend more time reflecting on this topic, which is it's very interesting how so many divorces are happening in a woman's midlife and beyond. It's almost uncanny. It's like as she steps into this next version of herself,
Hmm.
which we know in these perimenopausal and menopausal years mostly comes with a new level of not caring what other people think,
Hmm.
especially when it's not in service to your truth. So I really stand by this idea that we are humble servants to our truth, and we can try to avoid our truth for as long as we try. But eventually it's going to catch up with us. And then midlife is this opportunity, this grand opportunity to start to pay attention to what really feels right. And often our marriage is, and it's not just marriages, but this is our subject right now today, but our
Sure.
marriage is not feeling right, or our job, or
Hmm.
some of the friends we have, right?
Hmm.
Mm.
I totally agree that that quiet voice of knowing inside grows louder and the people pleasing falls away. And
People pleasing.
suddenly you're forced to step into your truth a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
it
beautiful
is.
thing.
It is. It's and it is becoming. And why do you think that some people, because I think other people experience this but don't make a change.
Mhm.
So, and you don't work with the people who are still stuck, but do you have any theories or notions on why people stay stuck in identities they've outgrown? And I imagine some of your clients, when you explain to them, they have to let the old self die.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So much, so much, so much yes to all of that. What I discovered quite quickly when I built my coaching practice in this very specific niche, right? Supporting mothers who are evolving from marriage to co-parenting. I realized quickly that many clients, prospective clients, are not a fit for the work that we're doing, that for this methodology that I'm outlining to you, because it requires courage. It requires steadfastness. It requires resilience. It requires building capacity and new sets of muscles that maybe you've never strengthened before. So honestly, it's not for the faint of heart.
Mm,
And I don't pretend it is, but I don't think any of this waking up, into our true selves, it is for the faint of heart. It's the most rugged work we'll do, I think, on this earth. So to answer the question, fear. We
yeah.
stay stuck because we stay stuck because we're
We do
scared.
run back to what's familiar when we get into fear. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's so amazing. It's literally your soul's journey to become, and it does take so much courage.
Massive amounts. I always say this is fierce goddess level work you're doing.
I'm guessing more messy than graceful in most cases.
Oh, goodness. Yes. So, so messy, so human, so imperfect. Yeah.
If someone was listening right now who was in a transition but didn't know what comes next, where do they begin? How do they make a start?
Yeah. So transitions are really all about not knowing what's around the corner. There's so much mystery embedded in a transition, and then snuggled up right next to mystery, from what I understand, is trust. Like trust with a big T. So it really comes down to looking at your life and recognizing all of the big mountains that you've already climbed, all the hard things that you've lived through, and seeing that you actually are held, even if it's miserable, even if you're completely falling apart right now and terrified. You're, I don't want to be trite, but you will be okay. You're designed to be okay. And that's where the trust comes from. That's where the trust is born. But I really think it's all about trust with a capital T, right? Trusting the unfolding of your life,
Mhm.
even if you can't see where it's taking you.
It's definitely a bit of a leap of faith for sure.
Oh,
And do you help anchor people into that self-trust or trust in the universe or trust in the process? Is that a part of what you support people during this journey?
so much. So much. It's part of every step. And and divorce with kids is such a ripe example of a massive life transition. I've used the phrase rite of passage. I use the word initiation, which really means that you're being, again, and not to lean on this word so much, but really like dismantled and like
Mm.
pulled apart. And then you're coming together as again as something new,
Different. Hmm.
different,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, so the trust piece is so essentially, think about it though, the a woman is divorcing, She has to live on her own, maybe for the first time ever. So there's all these different moments in that process that are really requiring just sort of a moment by moment trust in, and it can be whatever your belief system is. It can be trust in the universe, it can be trust in your capacity, it can be trust, in the team, support team you have that will help hold you up. And then I have a lot of practices. I mean, we could do a whole episode on trust, like practices to begin to familiarize yourself again, like with the frequency or like energy of trust. What does it feel
Hmm.
like to surrender and believe that I'm held? You can see, I mean, like if in the video here, like even leaning back a
Yeah.
little bit, right?
Yeah.
Can I fall back into the arms without getting too woo-woo, of the universe, of this life that I have, and know that I'm being taken where I need to go. Yeah.
You describe trust so well. It feels almost like a muscle you're helping people exercise to grow. Like you talked about growing capacity and it unfolds. You get what you need when you need it in the process is what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Yes, yes. You get what you need as it comes, and you're using the word unfolding. I have another wonderful coach friend of mine who uses the word unfoldment, which isn't really technically a word.
And maybe
We're-
it's her word.
yeah, no, we can borrow it and use it. It's such a great word because we are living inside the unfoldment of our life. So in a big transition, transitions are everywhere. We're becoming all the time. We're becoming maybe a mother who is now an empty nester, right? Maybe somebody who's experiencing the death of a loved one. Maybe something has ended and something new hasn't yet begun yet. We're always faced with these moments of transition and unfolding. And so just having the awareness, there's the power of awareness, like having the awareness that I'm actually in the middle of unfolding can also help to foster and build trust, right? Instead of just expecting, boom, the next thing is going to be right here, all neatly packaged and ready for me to
Hmm.
step into. Instead, it's like, okay, this is the messy middle.
Well, and before when you brought up, fear being the primary thing holding people, it makes all the sense in the world to me. Do you help people discern between the fear that keeps them safe versus the fear that keeps them small, maybe, or keeps them from becoming whatever's
Mm.
next?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And so much of the work that I'm doing with women, and this is why I just love it so much. I'm so fortunate to be able to do this work because there's an inner wisdom in every human being, but especially in women. We can call it the higher self. We can call it just that deeper place of knowing, right? And that's really guiding her. And I feel like my work really is just to reflect back the wisdom that's already in her or shine a, they say in coaching, right? You hold up a mirror and you shine a light. That's all
Hmm.
you're really doing. Helping them see the parts of themselves that have been maybe clouded over or yeah, reflect back to them their own wisdom. Yeah. So did I answer the question?
I love what you shared about it. I heard maybe you're helping people reconnect with themselves by doing
Yes.
that, which is a powerful thing because marriage, parenting, women can lose themselves inside of that.
Yeah, I'm so much of the sort of especially the early phases of separation and divorce are this discovery. I don't even like to use the word rediscovery or like get
Mm.
yourself back. I don't believe we're getting anything back. I think it's only through, and there's all these new versions of yourself. And part of that process is, who am I actually?
Hmm.
What do I even like? What are my preferences? What are my non-negotiables? What are my values? Who am I? So there's a lot of self-discovery
And
that's
you
happening.
get to choose. Those are
Yeah.
things that I think you get to try things on and choose for yourself as you navigate and go through that. That
Yes.
was very much my experience. I thought there was a right answer, but there isn't. It's a
Mm.
very personal experience. I wonder, as your business moves forward, what is it that you're still becoming? Your life sounds pretty idyllic with your parent partnership, non-traditional, although very common traditional family in this day and age, honestly. But like what's your journey unfolding into? What are you still becoming, I guess?
Oh, so many things. And, regarding the family system, it sounds idyllic and it's not. It's not idyllic because it's also real life. So we're in a place of harmony and peace, which actually just thrusts us into being in a regular family in relationship. So we're
Mhm.
navigating just being annoyed by each other and having to handle complex issues and questions and figuring it out together. So it's something that it's becoming all the time. And as the kids get older and they have new chapters that require more skillful and deft parenting, we're having to I'm becoming the mother of an 18-year-old who's leaving the house,
Oh, wow.
right? So that's
That's
one thing
big. That's big.
becoming.
So the name of my podcast is called Growing Up Late. And as you know, we're talking so much of what you say, like really dovetails well into the topics we touch on and the things that we're kind of exploring. So I'm super grateful that you could come on and share this because this is something a lot of people, like you said, they're waking up later in life and then having to shake their head and get their wits about them and grow up differently because there's at least that was my experience. I don't know if I'm saying it well, but I had a path that I thought was the path. And
Mm,
then in the middle of thinking this is it, everything changed drastically. And it was a
mm,
whole different kind of growing up set of skills,
mm.
like starting over. Does that track with the women you work with? Is there kind of a lot of things that maybe they weren't grown up about?
Oh yeah, 100%. I love it. I know I'm saying 100% a lot because 110%, more than 100. Yes, yes, yes. This opportunity. And I like to call divorce with kids an opportunity because if you choose to see it as such, there's immense growth in there. And a lot of that growth really requires stepping into the next level of adulthood and womanhood. And to learn and practice skills that were not taught to us. That's another thing. So we're discovering these late in life. Most of us, the majority of us, we were not taught anything about emotional regulation,
Hmm.
right? We were not taught how to work with big and hard emotions. Most of us didn't even know there was a whole range of emotions. Aren't I supposed to be happy all the time? What's going on?
Yeah,
Right? So
that's an excellent point. There, we're being forced to learn skills that weren't skills that were required of life previously, maybe even
I think they were always required, but our parents, bless their hearts, were
opted out
they
of
weren't
that
that they didn't
class.
know. They weren't teaching us, and they're not teaching us in school,
No, no.
right? So we have to
That's true.
learn
You can't convey to others what you don't yourself have any ownership of or knowledge of. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, have I got plenty of resources and ways that we could connect listeners to you if they wanted to be in touch or follow you or
Yes,
support your
please.
business? Yeah.
Please, please. I am definitely very much wanting to connect with more women who need this very specific kind of support. I really like to emphasize that this is a level of support that is just beyond attorneys and mediators and even a therapist. All those other people can be part of the team, but this kind of care is really designed to support a woman and a mother through the really complex and like gritty emotional landscape
Hmm.
of separation, divorce, and co-parenting.
I love your enthusiasm about caring for these women and helping them navigate these super choppy waters. I speak to women every day that need exactly what it is you provide. So, my favorite thing in the world is to connect good people to good people who want to help them. through these things. I know highly competent women, and when they approach ending a marriage and trying to co-parent with an estranged partner, because as you point out, nobody gets divorced because things are great. They need a lot of, it takes a team, 100%.
Uh, oh, well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for the work you're doing. It's just really so lovely to talk about these things and get them out into the world. And I stand by really the idea that divorce with kids is an incredible, powerful catalyst that just pushes and births you into the next version of yourself. And every woman I've seen go through it, you included, it's so obvious, is so much stronger and brighter and purposeful than she was before. So it's a gift for the world.
I love the way you characterize it. If you embrace it as an opportunity, the benefits on the other side of what seems a big, dark day, they're immense for everybody involved.
Yes, I completely agree. So, like we were saying, that people can find me on my website, marisabelger.com. You can learn about me and you can even book some time to have a conversation with me to see if this kind of support would be useful and timely for you. And I also have a workshop that I'm very excited about that I can offer virtually. Really love working with groups of women. I
Oh,
just think there's
wonderful.
something so amazing about being in a circle of women and that shared just wisdom and the gift and the technology of the circle itself is just ancient and powerful. So whether we're in a virtual circle or we're actually in real life, I'm very, very excited to offer that. And it's a workshop to support you through these key ideas of navigating divorce and co-parenting from this sort of very aware, awake, soulful way, using it as an opportunity for growth.
I love that. Well, I will make all of this information available to everybody on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever people listen or watch or follow along.
Thank you so
So,
much for inviting
well,
me.
and thanks for making the time. It's been lovely to meet with you and talk with you. And I really value what you've shared today. And I know you're going to help some folks. So
Thank
thanks.
you. Thanks you so much.